This is Newcap News with Mike Baden.
Good evening. Early yesterday morning, Cold Lake RCMP responded to a hit and run. 2 people were struck by a vehicle on Highway 55 west of Cold Lake. When police arrived, they found a 24-year-old woman and 32-year-old man dead. The driver of the suspected vehicle fled the scene but later turned himself into the RCMP. The investigation is still ongoing. Recycling is something municipalities encourage, but what about hazardous waste that cannot go through the regular recycling process? Well, for the 23rd year, the exhibition grounds held the Hazardous Waste Roundup. Carrie McCullough tells us all about this important event, started by a very inspiring lady.
It was a busy day for the volunteers rounding up hazardous waste. Citizens pull up in their vehicle in drive-through style, and any materials are carefully extracted and sorted accordingly.
People bring their unwanted paint and any kind of electronics and stuff and bring it over here, and we just try to recycle it and clean up keep our city clean.
From paint to oil to all sorts of different chemicals. There are so many materials, one day a year to recycle these items might not be enough.
The amount of stuff you see that comes in here is so tremendous, and this is just a one day a year thing. Think what we'd have that wouldn't be going into the landfill if we had a permanent. I would be ecstatic, I'll tell you.
Jean started the roundup 23 years ago with only 7 volunteers. This year there are 45. Jean's vision has inspired many.
Well, Jean Sloan's been looking after this from the day one. Like, she was probably one of the ones that instigated it at the start. And I represent the Moose Lodge, which we come out and support the city and whatever we can do. And she's just an awesome lady, and we come here to help her and support her.
Jean is actively trying to get the cities and provinces to support the cause and open depots for consistent recycling.
We need a whole series of depots right across the West. The sooner the better, because we must stop poisoning our planet.
Carrie McCullough, Newcap News.
It might be the last day of pitch-in week in the border city, but the community support is still as high as it was on the first day. As Elise Cox explains, one local group is making sure one of our valued parks is getting the attention it deserves.
First Baptist Church members woke up earlier than usual this Sunday morning to clean up at Bud Miller Park.
The church is not just about meeting in church services on Sunday morning. The church is part of the community, to create an environment together with the people in this community to make this a great place to live and raise your family.
They adopted the park as part of Pitch-In Week and are working hard to make it an attractive summer destination.
I've picked everything up from pop bottles to water bottles to sticks to bottle caps to broken little toys to grass, you name it, dog feces.
So it may not be the most glamorous job, but they're just trying to contribute their part.
As a church, that we're called to be a part of the community, and I'm seeing a level of excitement and the passion, and people looking forward to this every year. It's been great. It's
the second year the church has adopted the park, but they hope their involvement becomes contagious around the community.
And I think everybody should learn from it and appreciate what everybody's doing here today, and maybe everybody will realize that the parks are a place for us to keep clean.
And they're already excited to be involved again next year.
And I think it's something that we are looking forward to as an annual event from our church, to take people out to the community and feel like they are part of the community in that sense, as a faith community, as well as being a part of the neighborhood.
So the church is proud to be wrapping up Pitch-In Week with a clean park for families to enjoy with the coming warm weather. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Today was the day, the final concert for the Kiwanis Lloydminster and District Music Festival, and the show did not disappoint. Performers of all ages hit the stage to show off all their hard work from the year.
It's an opportunity to perform, I guess, and express who I am. performing.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to like show what we've been practicing and working towards for a long time.
The planning of next year's concert will begin in June. Volunteers are needed, and some performers had some words of advice for anyone thinking of joining the festival.
Just go for it.
It's not very hard at all. It's just getting up and performing, that's all. It's a lot of fun.
Showing what you can do.
Elise joins us for our first look at weather. And Elise, the weather was nice out there today. Our own Emmett Murphy actually got a little bit of a sunburn.
A little bit of a sunburn, yeah. There was a little bit of a UV index, but we were getting some rain early this morning, but thank goodness our skies cleared so that Emmett could get a sunburn. But right now in Lloydminster, we're sitting at 15 degrees. Clear sunny skies, but quite windy, 35 kilometer per hour wind, and gusting up to 50 at times. Windy in the Lakeland region as well, but they have a mix of sun and cloud, sitting at 17 degrees. Cooler in the Battlefords with lots of cloud cover. I'll have your full forecast coming up later in the cast.
Coming up, there are calls to action in Fort McMurray after a head-on crash claimed 7 lives. We'll have that story after the break. Emmett joins us for our first look at sports. And Emmett, you're looking a little pink.
I was outside watching some football, the Red Dogs football, and I'm looking a little red myself. Somehow, I got a sunburn today. But we'll get to that in a second. First, we'll look at another summer sport. Softball has had an impact on the border city, and no one has had a greater impact on softball than Mike Lamb. Moses Waldo has more.
The Lloydminster Competitive Softball Association held its 30th annual banquet to kick off the season. It was a chance to honor Mike Lamb as well, who was instrumental in developing the sport and the ballpark in the border city.
We had nothing to start with, so it wasn't hard. We just kept moving forward and improved and kept improving, and today it's great.
He talked about all the stuff that they had to build, and you look at Legion Ballpark today, and it is one of the premier facilities in Western Canada. And there's no one individual who played a bigger role in all of that than Mike.
During his 19 years at the helm, softball in Lloyd was extremely competitive. A junior ladies silver medal team, a junior liners team that won 4 gold medals, plus an '89 Westerns, which saw the women capture silver and the men gold. Despite all the accomplishments, what he took pride in the most was seeing the sport grow.
In doing that, it kind of inspired a lot of the young people to play more softball, because they could see the success there is to be had. So that was very, very rewarding.
And this pioneer in the sport will be remembered, as Diamond 4 at Legion Ballpark will be known as Mike Lamb Field.
Mike's central role has elevated him above anybody in our community in their importance in getting that facility to where it is today. And, you know, whether it's Wrigley Field or Comiskey Stadium, well, Mike Lamb Field at Legion Ballpark, so it's well earned.
I just thought I was just there to give the history of Lloyd softball and the national hosting, and to have an honor like that is it is humbling. It's a very nice honor, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Moses Wildu, Newcap Sports.
The Lloydminster Red Dogs had hopes of reclaiming the Capital District Minor Football League title this season. That goal was instantly put in jeopardy when they lost their opening game to the Battle River Shock. But after reeling off 3 straight wins, the Dogs would advance to the finals if they could beat Leduc at home in the final game of the season. The Red Dogs were on their heels early as Leduc scored on the first 2 drives to open up a 14-0 lead. Donovan Grantham got the home team on the board halfway through the first with a 25-yard TD run. Then a 20-yard TD pass from Colton Hippie tied the game up at the start of the second. That's when the Dogs D stepped up, grabbing a fumble off the heads and hands of 3 Leduc players. The Dogs grabbed another fumble a drive later. They got a single point and their first lead of the game. That momentum continued when Austin Drexler scored a controversial TD. Leduc responded with some offense of their own. After a missed QB run, they scored on their next play but failed the 2-point conversion. With 4:05 left in the game, Drexler scored a second TD to put the team up 28-20, and a Rouge made it a 9-point game. Then with 2:52 to play, the Dogs recovered a Ticats fumble. Dogs about to wrap this one up, but next Ticats possession A 95-yard TD run gives the visitors hope with time expiring. They put themselves in comfortable striking range with this catch, but Donovan Granum knocks down the final pass. Dogs beat Cats, advancing to the finals next week.
It's the best game our offense has played for sure this year. Bar none, we moved the ball. I don't know who kind of our philosophy was to try and wear them down at the line of scrimmage, and I think it took their toll on them a little bit. Like I said, it's game 5 or whatever now. We're finally getting the offense rolling, so that's good. We're going to need it for sure for next week, that's for sure.
I think it'll be the offense again. Our defense shut them down. It was only 3 big plays that they actually got on us. They didn't march us at all. So definitely the offense.
That's your first look at Newcap sports. Stay tuned for more news and weather after the break.